Okay, let me see. What is available out there? All right. Josiah, what do you say was? Secant of x minus secant of x, what? Cosine of x or cosine of like this? Okay. So we say convert everything to sine and cosine. So 1 over cosine, right? Minus 1 over cosine x sine square of x, right? This one's not too hard. This one's same like before. Except one step easier. You know how to do previous question, you know how to do this one. Next question. Yes.
29.
What does 29 says? Cosecant what?
No, cosine.
Cosine.
Cosine x over 1 minus sine x plus. Sorry, that was the wrong question.
Okay.
It's 1 minus sine squared x over 1 plus cosine x.
Okay.
Equal to.
You go to cosine of x?
The 1 minus should be outside.
The 1 minus is like outside of the fraction. So it's
1 over what?
no, it's 1 minus and then sine over the fraction.
Like this?
Yes.
So you need a combined fraction, so you need to multiply the first part with 1 plus cosine of x over 1 plus cosine of x. So therefore it's 1 plus cosine of x. This one's 1 plus cosine of x minus sine of x equal to cosine of x. Is it sine square or what? Sine square, right? And then so this 2 is equal to cosine of x. Cosine square of x plus cosine of x over 1 plus cosine of x. So you can factor out cosine of x. So that's equal to 1 plus cosine of x over 1 plus cosine of x. So cancel out equal to cosine of x, which is equal to cosine of x. It really doesn't take long. You just have to learn to see things like, say, that's why we mentioned the brown bear. Brown bear, what do you see? And I'm gonna bring the book here. You say gonna bring me a lot of stuff. You say you're gonna bring me a fishing rod. Oh yeah, that's true. You cannot bring a fishing rod into the school. That'd be kind of sketchy. We can like smuggle it through here a window. Okay, so any questions here?
Can we go over one? Yeah, one more.
One last one, okay.
Cosecant squared.
Cosecant square. We're gonna use x. I don't use t.
Equals cosecant x minus secant x.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna change that to 1 over sine square. Is that okay? And this one is gonna be this one's gonna be 10 of x. Why? If I switch that, that becomes 10 of x. So that becomes 1 over sine square of x times sine of x over cosine of x. So this one's gonna cancel one of them out. So it'll be 1 over sine of x times 1 over cosine of x, which is equal to cosecant of x times secant of x. Is equal to the other side. Yeah. Yeah. You're just stretching. What's going on there? I need a fishing rod to put your phone in between the building. All right. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about we're gonna go back to talk about trigonometric equation, but there is a trigonometric inequality. I want to spend some time going over it, but it's not a big deal. So the question is gonna look like this. Even though it's not on the AP exam, I would still like to cover it because certain part of calculus next year that you are going to have those. Okay. 2 cosine square of x plus cosine of x minus 1 less equal to 0. This is the first time that you see something is less equal to. Actually, we've seen it before. It's called quadratic inequality. So let's go back to look at quadratic inequality. It looks like this. 2x squared plus x minus 1 is less than 0. Do you remember what we have to do? Factor. Okay, so what's the factor of this?
2x.
Not 2x squared. 2x and x. I think this is plus 1, this is minus 1. Is that okay? So what do I do next? You already factor. Why you need a GCF?
Oh, make it equal to 0.
Okay, no. Somebody said make it equal to 0. Somebody say something else. Number line test. So in this case, there was a number line test. Well, you got to make it equal to 0 between two number line tests, but this is negative 1. This is 1/2, right? Is that okay? And that's 2x minus 1 and x plus 1. I'm going to do a number line test here to test whether it's true or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in, let's say it's negative 2. What am I going to get?
Yeah.
So it's a negative, right? Negative 2 is going to be negative, right? It's positive, right? What happens if you plug in 0? Negative and positive, right? What happens if you plug in, let's say 1? Positive, 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 negative. So where's the answer? No. So this is less than 0. Do you remember this? In the bracket, why is bracket? Because you can less equal to negative 1/2, negative 1 and 1/2. Is that okay? Because they are less than 0. That's a region that's below x-axis. Am I going too fast? Do you guys remember this? Negative 30 to negative 1 is positive region. You can actually graph this. You can see that. The graph. You can see that 2x squared plus x minus 1. See, you see that below x-axis, is between -1 to 0.5 because that means less than 0. Less than 0 means below x-axis. Are we good?
Just want everything in between those values as the answer.
Yeah, because they say the equation says something is less than 0. So you must look at number line. What people usually do is they make mistake. They will be like this: 2x minus 1 is less than 0, and x plus 1 is less than 0, and then 2x, it'll be x is less than 1/2, and this x is less than -1. But however, this is actually wrong solutions. This is no good. People did this, they did not think about this is a quadratic inequality. If it's a quadratic inequality, it must do a number line test.
Do you know that if it's in brackets or
That's a great question. And when they say less equal to, that means including the endpoints. Because at that particular point, let's just say if you plug in 1/2 here, that's going to give me 0. 0 is less equal to 0. So therefore, 1/2 is also part of the solution. Same as -1. Is that good?
so if it's or equal to, it's in brackets. Everything's in brackets.
Mm-hmm. Questions? Now I'm gonna go back and do this question. So this one becomes 2 cosine of x minus 1, right? And this becomes cosine of x plus 1 is less equal to 0. We're gonna solve for each one. When does x equal to 1/2? Pi over 3. Good. And when's the cosine of x equal to -1? Pi, right? So can I do a number line test based on those particular points? Yeah, of course. Pi over 3, pi, and 5 pi over 3, and then 2 pi, and then 0 here. So basically, I'm going to do a range of the calculations. First one, I'm going to do 2 cosine of x minus 1. And second of all, I'm going to plug in cosine of x plus 1. Did you write down here? Nothing different than before. Okay, so what we're going to do is I would say plug in between 0 to pi over 3. What's a good value to plug in between 0 to pi over 3? Pi over 6, right? What happens if you plug in pi over 6 here? 2 cosine of pi over 6. It's definitely bigger than. It's definitely like square root 3 over 2. Square root 3 over 2 divided by 2. That's going to be square root 3 minus 1. That's going to be positive. Did anybody confused with signs? Do you see why that's a positive? Okay. So that imagine if you have 2 cosine of pi over 6 minus 1. That means 2 square root 3 over 2, right? Square root 3 minus 1, is that positive or negative? Square root 3 is bigger than 1. So therefore it's positive. What will be the sign here? What do you think the sign here? Why it's positive? Yeah, that's positive. So this is positive, right? You guys good?
Yeah.
Okay, can you figure out the next two sign for me? Like this next two sign here. You can plug any value between pi over 3 to pi. Finish the side? Yes? Yes, Gia? Ayla? Yo? Devin? What's a good value to plug in between pi over 3 to pi? What happens if you plug in pi over 2? 0, so what am I going to get? Negative, and if I plug in this to pi over 2, that's 0. That's positive, so it's negative. What's a good value to plug in between pi and 5 pi over 3? 3 pi over 2 is better. Why is 3 pi over 2 is better? 0. And that's going to give you a same sign, right? How about 5 pi over 3 to 2 pi? Eleven pi over 6. What we get? If I plug in 11 pi over 6, what am I going to get? Positive or negative? Is that okay? Because 2 cosine of 11 pi over 6 minus 1, so it'll be 2 square root 3 over 2 minus 1. So square root 3 minus 1 is equal to positive. So same thing as this one's positive as well. So that's a positive. What will be the answer? It's less than 0. 3 to pi. Actually, if I plug in pi, what am I going to get? Pi is -2. So it's all the way to 5 pi over 3. Bracket.
Is that because when you plug in pi, you also get an
Yeah, because it's also, if I plug in pi, it's going to give me -2 minus -2 is also equal to 0. Now, if it's today is this, then you can have to break. If it's less than, then you can have to break to 2 spaces, because pi it will equal to 0, so that well it's going to be that. That makes sense.
What I'm confused about is like what we get from doing the number line checking that we determine like raising brackets or not. Like I'm trying like I'm like confused. Like I know how to
The question is says less equal to 0. So that means I'm looking at negative region. Negative region of the number line. So therefore, this is a negative region. This is the region I'm looking for is the solutions. Questions? Okay. Let's see. Let's see if you can do one here. Let's give you some harder one. So cosine of 2x plus 3 sine of x minus 2 is greater than 0. Now this one's hard because you had to do something else before you get to a correct trinomial. Because as of right now, I'll give you a hint. It's not factorable. Look at the function. Tell me why it's not factorable. Cosine 2x is not cosine square, and because cosine and sine is not the same type of term. You might need to look back the identities to help you to figure out which one's the right one to use. You definitely need to use one particular one. That's gonna help you because there's 3 double angle identity for cosine 2x. Only one that fits the bill here. Hopefully you find the right one. By the way, let's go back to the last question just really quickly. How do I check my answer? How do I check my answer if my region is correct? I look up at decimals and I look at which part. You look below or above? Below. So let's look at that. Let's see if we did it right. So we know is 2 cosine, right? Cosine square of x, right? Plus cosine of x. And then it's -1, I believe. Look at here, from here to here, they are below x-axis. And now this point even is included because it's gonna be from pi over 3 to 5 pi over 3 because the other parts are below x-axis. Does that make sense? This is how you check your answer. Okay, so did you guys finish with this one yet? And you gotta learn how to check your answers. I'm gonna help you a little bit. Just write down all the possibility for double angle identity. You gotta pick the right one. So cosine 2 theta is equal to cosine square of x minus sine square of x. I don't know if you want to use this one or 1 minus 2 sine square of x or 2 cosine square of x minus 1. Which one I should use? And it's gonna help me more efficiently. Not all 3 is a good option. One of them is better option. So think about what's option and why. Option A, option B, and option C. Think about which option is better and why that is. Which option I only need to do one step to hit to make it more efficient. Amber, what'd you say?
Option B.
Why do you think option B is better than option?
I did option A and had to do 2 steps, and like the second step was option B, and then I realized like I could have done option B.
Exactly. So option B is more efficient, right? So that's gonna be 1 minus 2 sine square of x plus 3 sine of x minus 2 is greater than 0. Is that okay? Why is it? Because I replaced the cosine with the 1 minus sine square and the minus sine of x. So that's equal to 1 minus 2 sine square of x. I can actually get it from here. Do you remember that? So now I'm gonna say this one's a negative 2 sine square of x plus 3 sine of x, and then it's gonna be minus 1 is greater than 0. Is that okay? Now be careful, there's a lot of math error can make here. I want a leading coefficient to be positive, so I'm gonna multiply everything by negative 1. Is that okay? So that's gonna be 2 sine square of x minus 3 sine of x plus 1, right? Less than 0. Do you remember when you divided by negative, inequality switch? Do you remember that? Yes? Okay. So now it becomes a factorable now. 2 sine square of x, 1, negative 3 sine of x. This is 2 sine of x. This is 2 sine of x. And this is sine of x. And this is a 1 and 1. And this is a 2 sine of x. And this is sine of x. 2 sine of x minus 1 and sine of x minus 1 is less than 0. So now we're looking for above. We're looking for positive region or looking for negative region? No, we're looking for negative. Because you divided by negative 1, the sign changes. The inequality sign changes. So you're looking for the negative region because you're looking for less than 0. Now I'll let you finish this part. 2 sine of x plus minus 1. Sine of x minus 1. And now we're going to figure out where they are. Can you tell me where they are? Two sine of x minus 1 is equal to 0. Sine of x equal to 1/2. Where does that happen? Pi over 6. Pi over 6. Okay, so there's a pi over 6. And there's a pi over 6. Is that okay? And also sine of x is equal to 1. So sine of x equal to 1 at where? Pi over 2. So there's a pi over 2 here. Now here's a problem. What do I plug in if I go from 0 to pi over 6? Pi over 12 will be good, but don't be too much trouble. But let's assume that you plug in very small value, let's say 1 degree. What happens if I plug in 1 degree of here? That sine of value is going to be almost close to 0, right? Because if you just 1 degree, how high can it be? Does that make sense? Think about it. This is unit circle, right? And this is 1 degree. 1 degree is right here. This value is very, very small. Because I can plug in any value between 0 to pi over 6, right? So I can plug in a very small value. If I plug in very small value, 2 times that small value is not outweigh the negative 1. So that's going to give you negative. I know I'm confusing a lot of you guys. Now, if you think about it here, right? I don't want to plug in something that's, because pi over 6, I don't want to plug in pi over 12. Pi over 12, I need a sum and difference formula, which is pain in the ass, if you ask me. But what if I just say, well, 1 degree is bigger, like 1 degree, right? So imagine this is a 2 sine of x minus 1. If you just look at here, any part here, it's going to be negative. Because if you just say, hey, let's just even type in, let's say it's pi over 12. We'll x-axis, and we're going to say this one is pi over 12 here, pi over 12. And we prove to you it's negative. But what if I just plug in, let's say, if I plug in the input of degree with the 0.1 degrees, it's still going to give you a very small y value. And that y value is not overweight the negative 1. Does that make sense or no? Because this is the y value. Is a 1 degree is going to be less because pi over 12 is 15 degrees. But 1 degree is even less. It's very, very tiny. So there's no height to the triangle. Absolutely no height. Slightly bigger, right? But there's no height to the triangle. Does that make sense? So this is why this is negative. Now, what if I do the same thing for the other one? Is it negative or positive? If I have sine of very small value, what is it going to be? Negative still. Good. Because it's not outweigh the negative 1. There's no way you're going to outweigh the negative 1. So this one's going to be positive. Is that okay? That first one is the hardest one. After that, it's all fairly easy. Because now pi over 6 to pi over 2, I can plug in something I know how to do. What's a good value to plug in? Pi over 4. So that's going to be square root of 2 minus 1. That's positive, right? Pi over 4, if I plug in pi over 4, is that greater than 1? If I plug in here, is that greater than 1? Sine of pi over 4 is square root of 2 over 2. Square root of 2 over 2 is what? Less than 1, right? You know it's less than 1 because square root of 2 over 2 is right here. Square root of 2 over 2 here. This is 1. This output is 1. It's less than. So this one is going to be a negative. Is that okay? And that's going to give you a negative. Same thing, I'm going to plug in pi over 3. Oh, actually, 2 pi over 3. 2 pi over 3, that's going to give you negative. 2 pi over 3, that's going to give you... wait, hold on a second. 2 pi over 3. Hold on a second. 2 sine of 2 pi over 3 minus 1. So it'll be 2 square root of 3 over 2. Cancel out. That's minus 1. That's equal to positive. Is that okay? Sine of pi over 3 minus 1. That's not enough to outweigh. So it's negative. So it's still negative. And I can plug in pi now. So plug in pi is going to give me negative, negative. So it's positive. So what's the answer? It's less than 0 in this case. In this case, it's going to be pi over 6 to pi over 2. Union from pi over 2 to 5 pi over 6. And if you don't believe me, check the decimals. See if it's true. So this is called trigonometry. Inequality. Same like quadratic inequality because this time I can review both quadratic inequality and trigonometry inequality. Except the way you plug in a value, you had to be very specific. I'm not going to give you too many questions for you to try. But here's a question I will give it to you. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one, it'll be 2 cosine square of x plus sine of x minus 1 is less than 0. Third, sine of 2x equal to cosine, actually is greater than cosine of x. 4. Actually, this is good enough. 3 questions. Not a lot. But yeah, it's a little bit more work because you have to do a number line test. Check your decimal, see if it's right. So we got 3 questions here. How much I think we class is almost in, right? Yeah. So that's your homework. But this is the inequality. It's called trigonometry inequality. Okay.
Like I have to make sure it's a specific inequality, right? It has to be in
Yeah. Greater than 0, less than 0. Greater.
this time. Not,
No, everything sounds different. What do you gotta read?
no.
What do you mean?
You know how you did the -1 and changed the sign?
Oh, if it's a negative in the front, then if you multiply everything by negative, then inequality will
Oh,
change.
okay, no, I understand. So yeah, I think I know. My eyes have been pretty.
It'll be everything over
I got it.
Sign and half, it'll be everything over.
Look at the last one, like.
Stay outside. Finish outside. Don't go inside. Don't hide inside.
That's all he's gonna be talking about. Yeah. What happened to Reggie?
He's dead. He died.
He has the flu.
Reggie who?
Reggie is the kid who always stands and like knocks at the door.
Bye. Yeah, that sound like shit. Hey, can you get a door?
Did you miss me?
Sort of. Why you laugh at that? If it looks like a most devious laugh, would be you.
Oh, did I ever tell you I'm a voice actor?
Yeah.
Yeah? I don't make that.
Like instead of most contagious laugh, would be like most devious laugh. They should have a word for that. Yeah. You'll be the one that wearing the most devious laugh.
I'll use that laugh something in my career as well.
That'd be great.
Have a fantastic day, Mr. Yu.
You too. It says don't throw food there. It's okay. It's banana. It's not like something sweet. Sweet, the ants get to it. I saw Kushang. Hi, Kushang. Why you run away? Why did he run away? What's up, Finn?
Did these two did? I don't know. Check if these ones are right.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, you did great.
I don't know if I did these ones right.
Yeah, that's the right idea. Hold on a second. Let me double check. Very good. Okay. The next thing you're gonna do is this. Big test. You know polar coordinate, right?
A little bit.
Okay. Okay, so this is all the question. How many airdrop to you? Were you here looking for me today? Okay, you and who else? Text me before you come here because today I'm feeling not well. I would have texted you back since you don't need to come. Like before you come, so that would be make easier. Hi. No.
And then I know the retake opportunity is over, but can I still hit the pack just to see what I know?
Sure.
Are we allowed to take it home?
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, you're allowed to turn it in too.
For real?
Yeah.
Huh. I thought it was too late.
It's fine.
Well, since we're the merciful. Oh,
I don't know about merciful, but who's that?
Yeah. I left my extension cords in here from this morning.
Okay. That one?
That one. Thank you.
Okay, if I find it though.
I think that's the reason why I used it.
Etymology.
So, when you find
Thank you.
Put that on the back and you can go.
because you remember we said,
Dude, you know what you're doing?
but then you have to find
Which is
oh, you have to say should be
it's like one.
Why did a lot of people skip class?
I don't know, piss me off. Because they have SAT, they think SAT they can skip, which is with all this class culture, which is pissed me off. Because they feel like, oh yeah, I have SAT, I can skip rest of the day. But they didn't have SAT. Yeah, and then Thursday they're gonna skip again, which has pissed me off more. And then I'm freaking behind now because the block schedule. Yeah, I want to shoot myself. Oh, I want to shoot somebody because I have so much to cover, and which is the hardest section to cover in calculus. But that's okay. We'll get by.
Wait, not just pre-cal?
Pre-cal's behind too. And calc is behind too. I have all 3 damn classes all behind because of stupid schedule.
so I think that's so right.
Yeah, it's not fair for all the. I don't know if any AP teachers complaining, but
No, I know people
Yeah, because it's
like Stalker was kind of mad today when I saw her. It's like I just wait so freaking.
because we take
Huh?
white.
But for X is different.
Yeah,
Can you get a door for her? You got it? Ben?
You just lost a life. You just find it.
You can take that one. That's yours? Is it because you eraser though? We gotta go get some pen for you today. Pen and pencil today. We gotta go get some notebook and pen and pencil.
Yeah, you find it. Yeah. And then now you find it. Because you're not seeing it out.
No, my friend is taking me. Oh, she usually adds meetings. So. Yeah, I just heard. Oh, it is. Yeah. A lot of them are doing the language. Wow. Spanish. Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
And then multiply all of this by 3.
Something going on between Krishan and that girl. There's no reason Krishan will walk any girl to the classroom.
Well, this one is.
Ellen?
By the judgment of you guys' faces, that means that's true.
Derivative of. You remember the and then remember the derivative of y?
This is the one thing that I don't know. It only works for now. When it's
Yeah, because you're taking into respect of the x. Exactly. And then don't forget the negative.
Usually,
Like being more fun. Exactly. E to the x, y.
these will always be the same. I thought the derivative of g of x equals
No, because
this is the derivative, so then you should right e to the x y of x, right?
yeah.
Plus
No, it's not. So e to the x, y.
It goes to 0 to
So-
y, right?
When you're taking the derivative of e to the x, right?
There can be like
E to the
more.
x. And the derivative of x is just 1. Yeah, exactly. So if it's like, let's say e to the y, you take the derivative of y. It's y prime times e to the y. So now you have e to the x y. So you have to take the derivative of x y, but you have to use product rule.
No, that's fair. I was getting too.
But you just plug it in to x by
Okay, wait,
Now, there may be euro.
How was that cost? So
Actually, kind
it's
of
the
a lot
same
of
thing
work.
that's no, you don't.
So just what?
It should be
Yeah, I was told it was like super easy, but like we actually have like packets and stuff.
Let me write this down.
Yeah, Miss Phillips is nice.
So LDR,
So you prefer Alden or Phillips?
left,
Miss Phillips.
left derivative right, which is 1. Plus
Alden
R.
hates you.
I'll watch basketball in my
Yeah, it's
golf class. Shouldn't have any
R.
trouble with it.
step right,
Why? Wait, it's
put it right, x, y. You see how I got that? Yes. Okay. So after that, you're just gonna plug this in. Yeah. Then you're gonna multiply all of that by e to the x. And then you can simplify everything. Yeah. So we can take this out. We can take this front stuff here. And then you can factor this. Wait, don't take that out because you have to multiply the negative 2. I'll start with y first. Just to make it easier.
They lowered the
well, this one's like it's this.
You already factored 3 to x
They did it.
and this to there.
What do you mean? This for the ball?
Yeah, so it completes the whole thing.
What can I do with speed? Wait. C.
Because we're working down. We're working down my steps. The original. And you put your next one, the next step.
Oh, you
And
too.
it's your you already backed out of them. Factory goes.
He's good.
Yeah. So yeah, you just copy this down here. So you have.
Oh, copy it down. I think you were saying like
Oh,
that.
wait, yeah.
Or you can ask
So
all.
now you have this equation.
Which
Now
no-
you're trying to find y prime.
But you can decide kind of like,
Yes, exactly. So you're gonna factor out.
yeah. You cannot solve like that. If you break math, this is where you break math.
So
You cannot do x equal to 9 like this or 2x plus 7. Right. That's, you break math here because the only way you can do that is equal to 0.
Oh.
You cannot do that with
No,
equal.
there's no y prime.
Other than 0. So technically,
So
this
with
part of
this-
math is not correct. You cannot do that. You're not allowed to do that. people doubt you can do that, but it's not.
Don't forget
Again, you also make it 0, you can backwards it.
Actually, what I would do first
But not
is
factor
factor all the y primes
He said
into
usually
one
like
side.
like
So what
one.
that means is
Yeah, 0, 1, and 2.
So subtract this.
So they're not.
Yeah.
That's weird.
This one has
Let's see. This one's
some
okay.
places.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually
Honestly,
better to check it out.
this
Because it's more easier to take derivative.
in the morning.
It's easier to take derivative secant of x by the secant square.
Oh, because I'm getting it confused with derivatives.
Yeah, you should technically you gotta be able to take derivative secant square of x. But it's much easier to take derivative secant x. Carter, can you help me get it to work? Okay, so what you're gonna do is understand this type of situation. The formula, let me write down the formula. The formula is gonna be inverse prime
Yeah.
of a
Alright.
value.
Now,
I'll just say function c.
and
is
then
equal
now
to
you
y
factor
over um f f of c like this. So you get it.
and now you just leave it to the other side.
Is equal to f
Yeah.
prime of c. Okay. So
But after you divide that,
this is talking about if I have inverse derivative of a number. And then you can plug in one here. So what happened is you find out what is f inverse of 9. Yeah, so you plug in, no, you plug in 1. This is equal to 1. So then you want to take the derivative f prime of x f prime 1. Okay, then you take a derivative of this, so it'll be 6x squared plus 7 plus 1. So that's going to be 1.
Alright, last step. Since we don't want these fractions to be here, so we're just gonna multiply everything by x.
Yeah.
Here, and then.
Yeah, this is in your notes. You look at your notes. This is what I have an explanation of it. Go back and look at that.
I mean, yeah.
I just didn't get it the first time.
Yeah, so look at your notes and see if it makes sense.
Isn't it like the
So the way you kind of, the way, so if you're a good student, I cannot be upset
so
at
it's gonna
you.
be y and
The problem is you gotta learn to
but you have to
change,
use the-
adopt very quickly. You adopt slow.
it.
It doesn't mean it's slow, no. You adopt slow. That means like you don't know where to modify yourself. So when you're learning a new topic, try to be able to go back, get the notes, reflect your thinking, remodify your thinking. You tend to be stubborn on time, but people will correct you and you're not going to. But the thing is like, that just takes some time to understand that. So the between the fast learner and slow learner is no, it's not true. You just didn't know how to. You're actually good students.
You have any other questions?
Like we taught that technique and I couldn't like digest it properly. But then like the week after, I remember you posted like the retake for it, right? And then I feel like I understood it a lot more. Even though I didn't like get the questions right, I understood it.
Yeah.
So I think it just like it's like more of like a time thing for me rather than like repetition. Because even if I do the same problem like 100 times, it doesn't matter. It's like I need time to like actually understand it.
You need time to process it. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess it's different throughout every person, so it's not. I mean, it's not like right away things. But I think you'll be fine by end of April. So you can look at your notes, apply the same question, and see if you can go back and do the same question.
Yeah, I mean, it is the same.
Oh, it's fun with my
Yeah.
mom. I thought it was like
Do you get everything? Because
Well-
I was so I didn't have my phone, so I had to go after school.
I don't
wow.
say anything because if anything come out of my mouth, it's not gonna be pleasant. So I'd rather not say anything. But I will say this though. Throughout the year, just even on the chat, there's probably 15 different excuses. Some of the excuses legitimate. This time I believe, but there's other times that it doesn't make sense. Like I don't, there's one time he didn't want to go to school. There was one time like even I don't do that. But so that's already passed. It is your life. I cannot tell you what to do or what not to do. I can tell you I won't help my student pass. But you gotta be the one that says, hey, there's no way for me to force you or anything like that because it just doesn't work that way. So for me, I give up on you. I've never said anything like this before, but I give up because throughout the year, there's a 17 or 20 different excuses. Just even though you are New Year, especially got 1 day, why I got 3 days. And so throughout the year, you've taken out so many days, and when the excuse become valid,
Everything's right.
but nobody wants to trust you. Or at least I cannot trust you anymore. It's no longer valid. If you were my position, you're gonna feel the exact same way because people just giving you a different kind of excuse. If you want to pass, I'm willing to help. If you don't want to pass, don't waste anybody's time. Just say stuff. I have no reason to be here at school, like right now, helping them. I'm sick. She knows I've been calling all morning. I don't find myself excuses. If I'm here, I'm here. I'm gonna help out kids. But I never look for excuses. That's just me. In your life, one day you're gonna realize the first person that you're gonna get fired if you have all the job people is the person that we're gonna. If I'm a CEO of a company, the person I'm gonna find is that the person who's make up all my excuses. To make sure that every time you learn to justify your excuses, you're no longer trustworthy. So for me, if you want to earn something, so you have to fight for it. You have to do it on your own. Either I'm close to home right now, but I'm going to help them. I don't know if I'm going to help you because you are not really do anything for me. Like you're not really doing anything for me. Like to try your best. To try to accommodate, trying to do your best. It's really not. Even I see you improving throughout. Second quarter, start on second quarter. You start improving, but now the excuse is valid. I can't even trust you because all the excuses been built up for a long time. But if you have a question, I'm willing to help you. I'm not going to say no to you, but I just say eventually I give up. And that's probably not mine. Yeah, you and Lee compliments too. Now, Damien, it's not just three years. I don't know what to do. You guys have to try.
Yeah, it's fine.
If you always look for excuses, you never say it. But it's opposite. You're never gonna say it. All the time you have an excuse for yourself.
Oh.
And not
So like, because like,
it's not well.
Yeah, nobody should wait to change.
I will fight for you.
Like, let's say
Even right now, I have never said I would give up on students. I give up because I just like. If you want to come in here, you could have said, hey, somebody can please give me a ride. Or can you ride school bus? I need a ride school bus. On that, go school bus. I'm gonna go early to go to school. There's all kind of ways to get around it. All kind of ways to get around it. And don't tell me school bus doesn't go to your house. It doesn't. Where do you live? Huh? Oh, you live in Pub. Okay. So, okay, so that understands. At least that part, I'm upset about that part. Okay, fine. Well, right now, let's score a few bets and see what you get. But if I were you, I will not miss any classes from now on. It doesn't matter what, because you only have one shot at this. If you hate math, this is one chance for you to pass this year. But according to what I remember, you don't welcome an engineer, so this is not a cost of it, because that means you don't have to repeat this class over again. Yeah, if you don't get classes. Which is probably a good idea to repeat it again. Start with first question. I'll stop, yeah. I'll stop. Shameful and product. So if you did derivative e to the xy, so if you ever derivative of something that's a derivative e to the u. Okay, so that's it. I ever have derivative of e to the u.
Yeah, so
the definition is e to the u.
I think we just messed up.
Yeah. So derivative of e to the xy, that means, well, this is u, right? So that means e to the xy times the derivative of u, which is there's a product rule here. So the product rule is x times y, so that's 1 times y plus x dy. Yeah. So that's what you write. Check your answer.
So whenever I type it in, I cannot click on the bar.
What?
I don't know if that-
Type in.
I just cannot click on the
Don't click on all that. It's still got it once. Other below or above x.
plus y
Plus x.
You divide that 3
Yes. Correct.
minus
Now that question is like 80% chance will be on multiple choice.
x squared.
So I even know like which kind of question will show up.
Yeah.
Like that question is 80% chance. Inverse.
Because when you multiply the
time,
sides,
it's usually on the question. Into the first section would be 29/3. So usually go for it there. And it's good to know that one question because just say out of 45 questions, you know 10 questions, and you get the rest of them. Then you got 10 plus the love. 10 plus the love is better than 0 plus 1. So if the more question you know, the better.
7, 9.
And it's fine if you take more time for you to learn. It's fine. You're a junior, so you have a long time. Where are you going to college? You're an engineer.
No, only number 5.
Oh, number 5.
Oh,
Oh, shit.
or dentist.
Oh yeah.
I guess that's.
Pharmacy is boring. Need to be like exact. Okay, wait. Yeah. So basically, so for the first question, so but in order to do that, you should know
Now that one will be. No, it has on an FQ.
We're trying to look for y prime.
So you found the derivative?
Now we're trying to do this inside.
Then you just want to
It's like,
Yes.
you just put in one on the side.
Don't do less than 0, dude. It's like this. You already look at, are they below or above x-axis? So let's say this one is what? Is it less than 0 or greater than 0?
Because I didn't do the negative.
Okay, so it's going from here to here because they're below x-axis.
and
So wait, are they above or below? Oh, you want like above. So above is gonna be 0 to pi over 3, which is correct. See, this is above. And from this point to this point, from 2 pi over 3 to 4 pi over 3, 2 pi over 3 to 4 pi over 3. Right? And then 5 pi over 3 to 2. You don't need to do less than 0. Never
The inside.
graph that part. Just graph and then look at it.
I just didn't pay attention to that part. I did.
Yeah, the derivative is 10.
You can
And
tell
then-
me that because we know how we did it.
I mean, yeah. So one is the bias. So this is your numerator.
And then we do the next
y
one.
five.
Yeah, and basically factor. This goes to that multiply to that one. And this goes to the models and square root.
You want?
It gives you
Students, the time is now 2:55. If you are not under the supervision of a coach or a teacher, please exit the school campus now.
Okay, it's like direct.
This goes to the quadratic parentheses.
yeah.
And then you equal it to.
Negative 4x.
See what you can do. Then
So this one x never equals the reason why x is never equal to 0 for e to the x is because e to the x here, this is e to the x graph.
so this is very
It's
very
gonna be like
easy.
this.
So it's
So
log
they never equal to 0.
b.
So when they ever have ex equal to 0, you don't have to worry about this
Yeah,
because
it's fine.
x can never
So
equal.
ln
It don't even worry about it because there's no value there. So you only have to do 1/2.
change the base.
So technically only 1/2.
That's literally the formula
Okay.
that you plug in.
Oh.
Box, uh,
That's not it.
this is the.
Wait, so there's not a one and two and three.
Would be like my words.
So it's,
Huh?
So,
Yeah, you just now you need to check the
I did it.
And that's why you don't need ever graph equal to 0 or greater than 0, less than 0. You look at it a little above x-axis, below x, they greater or less than 0. If you're equal to 0, then you look at it where the x in the sentence.
Trigonometry?
Yeah.
one. You have to y prime.
So what happens is take this square root, put it to the front. And that's part of that element.
You're really sick.
Hmm?
You're really sick.
So now you have to go with your constants.
History, do you want us to go
Which
over?
is two.
No, that's okay.
You
So
sure?
this is.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna rain soon, and it's gonna get worse.
No, it's fine.
Because you have to go with your constants. and then you multiply this by ln.
So this one you have one.
So now you want to find the derivative. Not really do. Keep it the same. So what would this be equal to? Just like rewrite it. It's a one fraction.
This?
Yeah, just rewrite it as one fraction.
Multiply by
This is over 1 divided by elements.
so it'd be elements.
Keep the one half.
And then flip this.
Yeah.
It's not
Because
oh it's like okay, so you flip it.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah, so that's just 1 over 2 times. Now you find the derivative of this. Yeah. So now you just find the derivative, which is the c prime over u.
U prime over U.
So that's u prime. And then you divide that by u.
Yeah, that should be good too.
Here's so now we have x squared in there. So you have log of 2, then your m. You already know that ln of m and ln of b equals this. And now you factor out the constant, but you don't find the derivative.
Did you take derivative? You know we did in
Actually, wait, why did I circle that?
Yeah, so if you take derivative e to the negative 2, so it'd be negative 2 times negative 2x plus 1.
Oh,
Oh, but you can take the derivative here. Oh,
It's this.
It would be slightly easier if you take derivative here. But however, if you take derivative from here, if you take derivative here, it'd be negative 2x
oh.
e to the negative 2x. That's it.
Alright, and now you just find the derivative.
No, they're different. So you still don't understand that rule. You still have issue with this part. So if today is e to the negative 2x, right, times 2x minus 1. If I take a derivative, now you can do it from here, which 2x e to the negative 2x minus e to the negative 2x. You can take derivative over here, but you had to do product over here, and you had to do another one. So I'd rather just do product over here. So if I do product over here, then I'm not focused on this part. Will be negative 2 e to the negative 2x, and the 2x minus 1. Does that make sense? No. Yeah. You did it with this one.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to show you how to do the other way too. So this one's fine, right? Plus e to the negative 2x times derivative of 2x, which is 2. Now if you did it from here, if you did it from here, it would be 2 e to the negative 2x. Because this and this are separate. So if you take the derivative of 2x, it's 2. Right?
Like, why would we
Plus
really bad?
2x times negative 2, because I'm going to take a derivative of this times the e to
So
minus e to the negative 2x times negative 2.
So you do have negative 2.
So let's say combining 9.
So this is what I have. This is what now you have. You have this, but I think you're missing this.
I do have
Plus 7x
negative 2.
9. What number?
Look at it.
Now plug into x.
Look at it. It's big difference. So okay, so this negative 2.
Yeah, it's
So negative 2 plus negative 2. So you have two negative 2.
right.
I only have one negative 2. So you have a negative 2 plus negative x. So if this is a negative, right?
And then you find a derivative.
It doesn't make sense what you have because this is not
6x plus
So that's because this is negative.
Right. And then now we have the 1. Oh, not 9. 13.
Oh, you say that's negative?
Yeah.
Almost negative.
So why is this positive?
I'm saying.
Oh, this one's this is
So you have f of
okay.
What's the spot and with negative?
So let's just say this is negative. Say this is negative.
So what we found.
Then if I take a derivative of negative 2x, it's going to be
This is
negative 2. And it's like it's negative 2x.
this is
And then 1 plus negative 2x times
These are one.
negative 2
so this
e to the negative 2x minus negative 2 so that would
I don't know if
be
this works.
negative 2. I just like the negative 2x. This one's going to be plus 4x to the negative 2x plus 2 to the negative
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's
Oh,
right.
wait, no.
I'm just showing you what that I know for sure. Alright, integrate.
And then I did
There's something
nine.
wrong here.
It's
Not supposed to be zero. It's supposed
Oh, I didn't take the derivative of this.
So then you keep
So then
So
yeah, there's something wrong here.
the derivative of the next.
yeah. I was
And then you keep the original thing.
let's trace it over.
Okay, so let me take a derivative of my own. I cannot follow yours because y equal to x e to the negative 2x. Y prime is going to be e to the negative 2x because I take a derivative of x, right? Plus x times negative 2 times e to the negative 2x. Is that okay? So y prime backed up e to the negative 2x. That's a negative 2x plus 1. So this part you have, right? So y double prime x. If I just take the derivative of here, I don't need to add 2
You said
two
you
things. I just take the way it is. So that's going to be e to the negative 2x times negative 2.
the equation. So it'd be u equals
And
5x
times negative 2x plus 1, right?
and then
Is that right?
du is equal
And
to
plus e to the negative 2x times negative 2. So this one is gonna be over 5. I'm gonna distribute this, so it'll be 4
Plug it back in, so this would be
x
3 over
e to
e
the negative 2x
times
minus 2 e to the negative 2x
now you have two
minus
constants
2
here.
e to
So
the
you
negative 2x.
Oh, I forgot about
So this will be 4x
Well, I just
e to the negative 2x minus 4 e to the
Two,
negative 2x.
nine. Oh yeah.
So you
That
can
can
take out
also be the
e to
same.
the negative 2x. This
So you
is
just
4x.
3 over
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. You can take out 4 if you want.
Now here what I would
This
do
one
is I would change the balance.
It's actually a very nice
Set
set.
u
And
so
this
5
one is gonna be
9 times 5
so the way you did it, I don't know what you did. You got x
so you
equal
have
to what?
1
I have no idea what way you did it. So you gotta find it. But that's the way I did it.
Okay, I'm gonna restart.
I think you have a hard time keeping track of everything. So you have to be like super mindful and super focused.
Now because I moved the 3 out.
As long as you put it in there.
And then
So this whole thing.
Did you finish?
1 over u is what?
Yeah, did you finish?
I don't think you do.
It's easy.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I thought just check was one.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
that's what I did.
You have to move the x.
Wait, what you said? What's the integral of what?
What's the integral of u over
You have to do 5 parts, yeah.
And I had to make sure, I had to pay attention, that's cosine.
It's like,
LS.
Not the same thing, so that's what I did.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah,
unit.
that's all right.
So
Yeah,
you have
should check your check
B
this.
over U.
you have 3, 5, and that's why because
That's my U.
it's the other part of the balance. Remember, you might say. So that's why I have to take 4 and you subtract 9 from be one same. And then the ln property would be over g to this. You're subtracting ln. I should rewrite this as I should rewrite this one.
Because I wanted to do it for like 10 months. Because when I wasn't able to do it like
Remember,
straight.
when you're subtracting ln, you're dividing.
If you have any more copies, like no, I can just print it out the library.
No, those subtracts are
No,
important.
Sorry, I'm serious.
That's okay. I usually print out a lot of stuff. Yeah.
ln is equal to ln of x minus ln of y.
You don't need to know it's just change.
ln of
Yeah, I do realize like this is something to the 1/2 power, right? And then just take it on the 1/2, just go on negative 1/2, just do it with it. So I can take it up, right? Because you don't have to do a lot.
Oh, this is it. Right. She does the same thing. So it's 3 over 5.
Got it? Yeah, it's kind of hard to like really mindful what you're doing. It's really like. Do you play viola?
No.
you wouldn't add plus c because you already have
You
already have
don't
balance.
play viola.
When you're doing plus c, it's like you have
a
balance like this.
Wait,
When there's nothing, it's plus c.
It's like the
But when there's
no, we're
what's the balance?
you know Squidward mystery. You know like SpongeBob. Yeah, he did it and he plays.
So do you understand? Why it's
So,
not 3 over 5 ln of
But this one you have to have a long capacity. So you actually always do it, right? Yeah.
Great talk with you.
People with big swallows, they have to be big. You're like, I don't see you.
Actually, if you understand the question, you can also talk.
No, that's like actually I eat a lot of things. I eat
Yeah.
like
I mean,
I
basically,
remember like last
have to
summer
have
when I
more
went to eat like an all you can eat barbecue with my family and I ate the most. Like my plate was like stacked with bones. Like I ate the most out of it.
It sounds like Jenny.
So I'm gonna
That
do
kid is always wrong.
Can
say
you you have any food? U equals 1
One's not moving.
equal to 2. And E1 E over 2E minus
Ellen, what number?
Oh.
E
No.
2
Oh, what?
equals I can take this to the outside, so it's 2.
It'll be one.
Oh, my bad.
Ellen, what
Do I have to change the balance?
Yes, you have to change. So you have to put the balance into U.
Can't help it.
What do I do? I want to.
Just write it out first.
Zero. What? L of 1 equals to 0.
That's easy.
Oh! Oh, is it E?
It's a
Cancel
number.
each other out. Oh! You're right, you're right. E and L.
You see this? You remember?
Oh.
Let's say
Wait a minute.
you have this, right? Y ln of x.
Mm-hmm.
This is just equal to ln of x to the y. Remember? Because you remember if you have
I didn't finish.
ln of square root of x,
Is
that's 1/2 ln of x.
yeah, and
You're just doing the opposite. You're moving the 1/2
So the okay.
Yeah.
Where does L go?
So if you have 2 ln of 9,
Is
just go in here.
A1.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is
But e and ln cancel out.
so just make A1,
1 plus e1.
which is crazy.
Yeah. Then you do the same thing for the other.
I wish my Chinese.
So it's
What
not
if I fix the Chinese then?
5
1?
5 times 5.
oh I 25
I have a little answering it.
so half
What do you mean?
He starts speaking English.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's like,
I know. 82 minus. Wait, no, I don't need to ask the like left
Thank you for the thought. Appreciate it. How? Thank you for helping me. What? I did not. I did not. You helped me check out my answers. Like, okay. I didn't know. Okay. Bye, guys.
You have more stuff. Remember when you're subtracting ln, you are.
oh. Can I like simplify this one?
Yeah.
26.
In this one.
576. Cause this
Oh,
is
you
the
this should be like this.
oh, is that simple?
Oh no, the ln shouldn't be on the side. It should be in the top. You could just yeah. Yeah.
We just these two.
Square Why don't you have to start it?
Hmm? Oh yeah, you can split it first.
Anytime you take the derivative of y, please, yeah. So it's either e theta. And why do I take
Mm. So you're dividing, right?
This one cancels. This is one.
Yeah.
This is plus one.
Mhm.
This is plus x. So it's 4x. So you can plus this is into the x.
Yeah. Negative.
Oh.
So e to the negative x is 1. So when you're finding the integral, what I like to do,
You have to do e equals e.
yeah,
And then use up the
I'll show you, she's easy, so first, I'll show you. So take this, take the integral of this first. So so
There's 40.
but it's u over 4.
So what's the e over?
So it's 4.
Oh, yeah, take one.
Now you have e to the u. The integral of e to the u.
So you is e to the 4x.
What? It's plus y divided by dx. So wait, let me write this. Let me write a couple things. So we have e to the 4x dx, and then the use of this is 4x, right? Du equals to, I'm just gonna do this dx, right? And e to the u times u over 4. You can take the constant out. Take the constant out, so stay with e to the integral of e to the u is e to the u plus c multiplied by 1.5. So 1/4 e to the u. And then you plug in u, that's 1/4 e to the 4x. So that's how that becomes that. But the easier way is to do this as find a derivative and you move it to the front and put it as the denominator. So I mean, when I just look at this, I was like, okay, what's the derivative of 4x? It's 4. So, and then I just move it to the denominator, so it's 4.
I just figured out that.
So I like to think of it
So
as
the next one
the same, exact same thing.
is negative. Plus 2
Integral 1
is minus.
plus c. That's it. So you should write it down. Yeah. You have to add that integral because you already found it.
Oh, so it's negative 1.
Plus 1. Wait, why'd you change it to negative? Integral of 1 you just add x. Yeah, that's it.
This one?
No. Still working on it.
We do number 8.
8?
You're not sure how to do it?
No, yeah, that's I didn't.
And 11.
What do you need help with number 8?
You know, like I don't know if it's right.
Okay. Number 8. Okay, so number 8 is actually fairly easy. So if you really had to think about it, always think about how if I ln, so ln of ln square root of x, if I want to take the derivative of this, right? So d to the dx of ln of u is equal to u prime of u. So this one, I don't take a derivative first. I take this first. So this u, right? So u is on the bottom. Does that make sense?
Oh wait, no, we already did take the
And
inverse.
du is going to be x over 2.
But we only did it for.
So it'll be x over 2. This one is. I think. Oh, this is 2 over ln x. Right? Because this is ln of x over 2.
And then minus. And
So,
goes to
yeah,
derivative
so
of
that's
y
the
squared.
x over 2. Calculate the x.
I think you should go with
You just multiply ln of x.
What the hell?
You know how to do this one?
Yeah.
So it's x and from double prime to prime. So you gotta do 2 intervals.
But you read it? I mean the question. Can you read it back to me?
It's negative 2 is 1 parentheses x minus 1 squared.
As long as dy dx everything I had to do.
So and when you're changing, what I do is I change it first to negative 2 x minus 1. Like if I go over this. So I just move this to the top. I find everything. So yeah. So move negative 2 to the outside. Is it x minus 1? Should be. This be you just do minus 1 over negative 1 squared. Yeah, like, if you add 1 here, and then the denominator you add.
You just subtract one.
So after that, it'll be
Oh no, I made a mistake. Just it's supposed to be a plus in the middle because after you distribute it, plus is still gonna stay the same. So then
negative. Multiply by negative 2. Multiply these two becomes positive. Then you can plug in what this is. Because right now this is at prime. So now you plug in everything. Let's see. Don't forget plus. Wait.
Yeah, like fucking.
So 4 is equal to 2.
And then you take the dy and dx
2 minus
over
1.
it, and then whatever you have.
Let's see. 2 minus 1 is 1. So 2 divided by 1 is 2. Let's see. 4 c is equal to 2.
Factor it out.
That's
Factor out
first.
the dy.
So now that you have this,
Under
it's
reference.
going to be 2x minus 1 plus 2. Exactly. Both sides, so this would be
Oh.
over
Not available. Goodbye.
du is equal to dx. So now this would be 2. 1 over here is 1. What over u? What property is that? What's the integration of 1 over u? Yeah. I mean u over u. Yes, it's ln. And then ln of u is x minus 1. But now we have to do because the integral, you have to just find the integration to x. And now this is equal to